I'm pissed, man.
Why are you pissed?
We lost Emily.
We did. I guess we should get serious for a second.
Should you remove your hat?
Yep. Moment of silence for Emily. She has passed on to another podcast.
She's definitely in a better place.
She's graduated to the big leagues. No, I don't know. I don't know how to do this. Emily's left the pod.
She's gone.
Yeah, she's
informally gone. She'll
Yeah.
probably be back, I'm sure, for episodes here and there.
She's still our friend.
She just hates you guys.
She just it's a your fault. It's kind of like, you know how like when parents get divorced,
Yeah.
the parents are staying together. It's the kids
It's
that
weird.
one of the parents doesn't want to see anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that parent will be here as long as you guys are gone.
No, I mean, so we started the podcast when we were all roommates during a pandemic because we needed
nothing to do.
with nothing to do, and Emily has other things to do now. So I don't know.
I feel like her job is harder than mine. Like being a writer is
Yeah.
harder than being an actor. Being an actor, you just like read back what they tell you to say. She like writes, and I mean she's just got a full plate, and also, stand-up's picking back up. I feel like if we did a Hesby Street comedy tour, she'd be on board 100%.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. All right. Cool. Because I just like I don't want to like speak for her.
Right.
Is the thing.
But I feel like our Hesbos deserve an honest.
They deserve
like we're joking around,
Right.
but they deserve. They're like, okay, ha ha ha, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. So no, we just she's just busy.
Yeah,
So maybe she'll be back.
yeah.
I'm sure she'll at least be
Those
back
were her words.
occasionally.
Those were her words.
Right.
Maybe I'll be back. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
She said that.
Yeah. So, but at least for the rest of summer and indefinitely.
But it's not a fight. And
Yeah.
I feel like we're doing ourselves a disservice by not spreading a rumor.
I know. I was kind of like,
She banged my wife.
and she banged my wife.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Tori and I moved into a studio.
I got married,
Well, you got married.
and then Emily banged her. It's
Yeah.
been a big week.
Yeah. Fun wedding though.
Yeah.
God.
It was. Oh, yeah.
Trash.
I think that
Emily
was
banged
part
your
of-
wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sober Emily would never do that.
She would never. But I think that's what it was. Is I got too drunk, and my wife was like, "Well, someone's banging me,"
Yeah.
and Emily was there, and good for them.
And then
I
I
hope they're
remember
happy.
Emily smoking a cigarette. I walked into the honeymoon suite,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to be like, Torio, brunch. And it was Emily smoking a cigarette.
Uh-huh.
And I looked at her wide-eyed.
and said, "Again,
And,
you just got done banging my wife."
and then her words were, I should leave the pod for a little bit.
Yeah. So that now you all know. Now you know
Right.
the story of what happened.
She is busy
I
banging our wives.
Yes. I technically am looking into getting mine annulled, so I don't know if it'll then count as my wife.
What is annulment? Is that like the eyes of God or something?
I think in the eyes of the law, if you get annulled, you were never married. Like you get it done quick enough, or
It's a mulligan?
yeah, or someone was tricked into it.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe someone wasn't 18 technically, they lied. So
And
that
you're
you
like,
can-
hey. I should be let off the hook. This was a child.
yeah, I think it's a loophole, but yes, also in the eyes of God.
They should call it a mulligan.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
It's the same idea. It's like, oh, we're just going to pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah. Do you think we'll lose? Yes. Do you want to keep going on this?
Well, no, I was just thinking poor mulligan. He probably just did it once playing golf, and they're like, can I do a mulligan? He's like, all right, let's. It was a do-over.
Let's not make this a thing.
We all called it a do-over. I am not the
I
only
bought you a
one.
round of beers after the match, and now you still won't let it go. God, that reminds me. Have you been keeping up on this season of
golf.
Below Deck?
I am not caught up.
I can't wait. You know, now that Emily's gone, this can finally become the
Below-
Bravo TV Below Deck podcast we wanted it to.
I mean, dude, Top Chef was one for the ages.
It's been fire.
Top Chef was really good this year. Portland. Mm-hmm. Below Deck, I still got to catch up.
Okay,
But oh man, what a spicy season
it's
is.
gonna be good.
They got a personal chef who worked for both the Dolan family, who owned like Madison Square Garden and the Knicks,
Rupert Murdoch.
But there was another sports, I think like the Redskins football owner or something.
Oh yeah, that guy's awful.
No, it was someone else. It was some other sports team.
Doesn't matter
owner.
who it is.
It's cool to me.
Is it Kraft?
It was the Kraft family,
that's right.
the Patriots.
Yep.
And he totally just pussed out on the first night.
First day,
he pretended his knee hurt.
Yep.
And he was overwhelmed because he just didn't prepare, which I have lived 1,000 times.
But I love when he admitted that he had done this before. He had quit on the first day of a job twice before.
Yeah.
Because of anxiety.
Yeah.
Which, like, I suffer from anxiety.
Yeah, but there's a difference between anxiety and, like, you didn't get started. And now it's, like, down to the wire. And you're like, oh, no, I'm anxious. Like, yeah, you're anxious. You haven't done shit. Anyone would be anxious.
But, I mean, yeah, totally. But, I mean, I've quit. I feel like I've quit before I've started before. More as, like, a teenager. Like, I remember there was a job I got when I was, like, a teenager. I was like, I can't do this. Like, too stressed or whatever.
Standard teenage behavior.
Yeah. But,
oh, can you do me a favor?
no.
Can you just peek and see if I'm in the camera at all?
Mid-thought.
I'm sorry. I'll bookmark it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So it's standard teenage behavior. You've done it before. You've quit on the job before.
And I still suffer from, like, crippling panic attacks. Mm-hmm. But at some point, I do side with the people on the other side of the argument that are like, it's your fault, though.
Yeah.
If you take a job,
right,
have your panic attack, but don't leave. You got to try. I mean,
you got to try on day one.
I guess from where I'm at, I'll either, if it's like, I'll pass out. And then it's like, well, now my body literally lost consciousness. I don't.
Yeah, but I'd be more happy about that.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd
like,
get
you got
this
to
guy
at
off
least.
the boat. You got to pass out.
You got to pass out, or you got to cry.
He did pretend his ACL was blown out or something.
He did limp around a little bit. You're right.
I feel like everyone listening to the pod is like, okay, what is this? So Emily's gone, and you just fully seamlessly pivot to an episode of Below Deck. Like, that's what we're doing now.
All right. So what should we try to, like, we're gonna lose some listeners. Of course we are. There's Emily fans that are here just for Emily, and that's fine.
Goodbye. But bad riddance. Not good riddance.
No, I think it was a fun ride.
Wait, does good riddance mean go? I thought bad riddance would mean stay.
Oh, bad riddance is like
not on good terms.
No, because good riddance
is good terms.
Yeah. Emily would know.
You know who we need?
Call her up.
We need Emily. We need a writer's mind.
So some people are going to leave, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we miss you. We will miss you.
Yeah.
But what can we do? But maybe some people are on the fence.
Some people are diehard cat heads.
There's a lot of cat heads.
There's a lot of fat
cattle heads.
Cattle heads.
Yeah.
But then there's some that aren't sure who they love.
Yeah, they're like, they didn't even buy a merch shirt because they weren't sure who to represent.
Yeah. They certainly didn't buy a Zack shirt.
Nobody bought a Zack shirt.
I think 2 people.
John came through and bought one.
John said he bought one because he felt bad.
Yeah, because he felt bad.
Thank you, John.
Also, the Emily shirts are still up on the store, but probably not for much longer. I should probably have to take those down. It wouldn't be right to...
Well, the money would just go to her.
Okay.
It doesn't seem fair.
It does. Yeah, I'm not going to... That's what I'm saying. Okay, so we'll leave them up. I will probably take them down. I mean, I don't know what she wants.
You know what it could go towards is like her drink tab at a comedy club when we do the Hesby Street tour. Emily drinks for free on t-shirt money.
Well, everybody drinks for free at a comedy club if you're on the show.
You got to tip.
You do have to tip.
See, comics, they don't know. You know, I've been thanked at comedy clubs.
Yeah.
Because they're like, thanks for setting the tone. I'm like, what tone? Giving you $2?
Yeah. It's so weird. Well, it's also like they'll pick up a whole tab and then I'll tip like $10 or $20 because like,
yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, well, no, but thank you. You were the one that hooked me up with these drinks.
Right. Yeah. If it's like a bigger tab.
Yeah.
I opened for, I think it was Mark Normand. And maybe it was Mark Normand, and he didn't have cash. I don't think for like day 1 or 2.
Right.
And like on the last night, he got paid out, and he was walking around to everyone like, "Here's a bunch of like for the weekend." But I wonder like, Was the whole staff leading up to that point like, this piece of shit?
No, because I think that's a normal thing.
That's standard. The headliner kind of.
It's not standard. I think it goes both ways. But yeah, I think a lot of times the headliner pays at the end of the end of the show.
It's like, I'll pay you when I get paid.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I didn't know. I always just feel bad. Tipping is like it's not a good place to be if you're a person that feels bad for other people. Because I'm just like, do I give you now? Oh, where did they go? Yeah. I don't want them to hate. Where did the person that hates me now go? Like when they drop off a plate of food in the green room for you.
Yeah,
I'll walk in and I'm like, who was it? Who dropped it? I have money. Tell them, give me one more chance. It's not like, here you go, man. Thanks for your work. I'm like me. Like me.
Yeah. You know what else I hate is, but don't know how to act around is like bouncers. Club or not a club. Door guys at clubs where it's just like, so I'll show up as the comic and I'll be like, you want to check my ID? Or do you want, now you have to, like all the Live Nation clubs, you have to go through the metal detector.
I don't.
I mean, not punch. Yeah, you do. You're just not going to Live Nation clubs other than the San Francisco ones.
Yeah.
So then you go up and you're like, here's my keys and wallet and phone. And then you'll walk through and then they'll be like, all right, where's your ticket? And I'm like, I'm on the show. And they'll be like, well, why'd you go through the thing that you can go this way? And I'm like, well, I just want to be...
Yeah.
I just want to play by the rule. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what I kind of hate is walking up to the door guy when everyone's getting checked, and you're like, I'm on the show.
Yeah, it's when everyone's
like,
in line. Like,
look at this guy on the show. We'll see about that. I feel like the East Coast would be like, we'll see about that, buddy boy.
I remember when I was on the road with Costa, he'd play it up. He'd have fun with it. He'd just like put his arms like through the line and be like, twice on code and 3 times tonight, show headliner tonight, let me in. Just like fucking around with everyone.
That's funny.
Just listing off his credits.
Right. That's so funny. Like doing the you know what I would want to do if I'm the headliner of a sold out place is like you ever at an airport and your flight is like you're late and there's the TSA line and you got to do like, do you mind if I would go through the line like that and just be like, I'm the headliner. Is it okay if I... It's like, you don't have to. Be like, I'm so sorry. I'm headlining tonight. Could I just get ahead of you guys? Hey, guys, I'm headlining. Is it all right if I just jump up ahead?
Have you ever done that at an airport? Like tried to skip because you're running behind?
I don't. If I have, I don't remember. I've seen other people. I'm like, yeah, go for it.
I've seen it. Yeah,
I've seen people go,
I could never do
us
it.
too.
I would miss my flight.
Oh.
I don't have it in me to be like, I need to get through.
Yeah. The funniest move I ever saw, thoroughly entertained me, is coming back in. I don't know where I was, but I came back into the country to like SFO, and so you had to go through customs. And the line, for whatever reason, it was like 4 flights from outside of the country came at once. So it was the longest line
You've told
ever.
This story before on the pod.
What happens?
I'm trying to remember. It's like...
Not the one where I cut and I open the floodgates for everyone.
Oh, that's not that one?
Isn't that
okay,
one.
It's a different one.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
This one isn't me being the monster.
Because that one was long, and I was like, well, I don't want to do something
the
you're
whole
have to
pod.
Cut. Yeah.
This is a older lady by herself. Mm-hmm. She kept doing this move where she would go, what is... and she'd be looking at the board, like trying to read something, and just keep sidestepping in front of everyone. So she wouldn't look at people in line and would go, now... okay, are we, and just constantly side, and I'm like, look at this lady, you know? And then she got to like a few people ahead of me and they were just like, no. And she wouldn't even look at them. She's like, oh, sorry. I'm just trying to figure out. And it's like, figure out.
She got to play your strength.
It was a cool move.
That is wild. I would kind of lose my mind, but.
It was driving me nuts. I was like, someone needs to do something.
Yeah. It's like, it's not going to be me. Because that's the thing is like, especially airports, like maybe I've said this before, airports are the one place where every kind of person exists.
Yeah.
Because everyone has to use an airport.
Yeah.
Almost everybody.
Yeah.
And so I'm too afraid. I'd be too afraid to, because you don't know who, that person could be nuts.
Yeah. Right. It's like, okay, I'm going to bomb this part of the line.
Right.
And you're like, Jesus.
No, but like more than that too is like, you just want to get on your flight. Uh-huh. You don't want anything slowing you down.
Yeah.
Like becoming a witness or becoming a victim.
Sir, could you just stay here and tell us how you got stabbed?
Yeah.
Dude, airport brawls these days are nuts.
I don't watch World Stars.
Oh my God,
what's
it's a
going on?
problem, dude. Everywhere, people are just fist fighting at airport gates, and people are opening doors to planes, like just crazy white people. They're like in the air trying to open doors, and they're getting tackled. Like the flight is going, and like flight attendants are tackling people.
That's like go to jail for a long time behavior, right?
Yeah, I just saw a photo the other day on Twitter. This lady her mouth was duct taped, this like kind of husky white lady, and the seatbelts were all wrapped. She was like hogtied in the flight attendant's seat. And they're like, just stop this bitch.
What ended up happening?
I don't know.
What's the story?
You know me, dude.
Come on.
I got to keep it moving. I don't do research. But you know what's funny is like that lady that did the move. Now what is happening here? I saw her coming, and I'm like, oh no, I'm going to be the roadblock. Mm-hmm. You know, and I held her, but the line was so long, I like looked away for a second, and she was like 3 people ahead, and I'm like, someone stop her.
And it was the customs line.
It was the customs line, yeah. So you're just really waiting for that person to look at you and then stamp your
That's a rough
thing.
line because it's always after a very long flight. Mm-hmm. And you're so close to freedom. Mm-hmm. But it's like, nope, one more long thing to wait in.
Yeah. We got about 4 hours in customs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, customs is... Why is it called customs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just the one way. You can't customize it.
This is something we should know.
This is a cheesy joke.
This is one way, yeah. I don't know why it's called. I mean, it's the Department of Customs.
Yeah.
So it's got to be...
Customizable?
Yep. It's customizable.
Customize the people you want coming in. Dude, I did my first open mic post-pandemic.
Damn.
I went to...
Things are not going well.
I went to Chatterbox, which is like my favorite open mic.
Right.
It's a good time. And I was like, dude, let's take some risks today. You know, like let's try some new. And my first joke bombed so hard that I said my next joke wrong.
What was the joke that bombed?
The joke that bombed, it was so cheesy. And you know what's funny is I thought about when we were walking in Tahoe. But it was something like my dad is immature and also not present in my life. So, or my dad was not present in my life, but also really immature. So, you know, I'd say like, Dad, you promised you were going to come to my soccer game. And he said, you never said no takebacks. And that was the amount of laughter it got.
Right.
It was like, and I'm like, kicking it off, you guys. I think I said, and that's how I decided to start this set. That was what I said right after. And then I was like, all right, well, I have some jokes I actually like want to work on, not just like I've thought of on the fly.
Right.
And I did them wrong.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because
you're
it's just
so
rattled. Yeah.
Well, I've been trying to do like a new joke every night.
Oh, that's good.
Or every show. And so I did, I didn't have one really. Mm-hmm. But I did Bear City, and it was just like a fire crowd, right? Like the set's just going great. And so like I did the avocado joke, did well.
Yeah, of course.
And then I segued it into like an idea that I think is funny, but I don't have.
Yeah.
Which is like, everybody's upset. I'm just gonna bomb with you, so we can both bomb.
Thanks.
That's
man.
why I'm doing
solidarity.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the premise of the joke, which I do think could go somewhere, is like everybody's like upset that restaurants are understaffed. You know, everyone's getting like bad service.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it like warms my heart because I'm like, I love it. I love that they're not here, you know, like they're out, they're home. They're not, you know, and like, so like the joke was essentially, like it took me 25 minutes just to get my Diet Coke. And I was like, this is awesome. And then I tried to segue that into like a reference to Good Will Hunting, you know, the part where Ben Affleck, it's like the best part of my day is when I roll up and I'm like, maybe you're not here.
Yeah.
Which is like a old reference, a dumb reference. It doesn't even really match.
Yeah.
But I just thought if I could, I was like,
it matches.
I was like, I bet on stage I'll be able to pull off the Boston Ben Affleck accent. And I just bailed on it. I was like, I don't even know what this means.
Seeing you in the midst of trying an accent is the weakest version of you I've ever seen. It's just like, I don't even know why I'm talking now. Like
it was funny too.
Your body shuts down.
Because that joke's not even a joke, let alone a good joke, but the crowd was so good that they were still into it.
They were like,
to a
"It's
degree.
okay."
They were like, I kind of get that.
Right.
Yeah. And then you have to like go straight to a heavy hitter right after. You're
Yeah,
like, I got to get
thank
you back on my side immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
That is what sucks about doing like the Chatterbox open mic is so cracking, but because it's an open mic, you can get like 5 terribly uncomfortable sets, and then people are gone.
Yeah.
You know, the show's a different.
Are
It's
they
a different
literally
show.
gone or the
People
energy's
actually
gone?
leave.
Yeah, I bet.
The show's a different show. But if you get up in those sweet spots, it's like you're on a hot show, and you're like, I'm fucking around. I just miss like fucking around, because that was like where I would kind of find bits.
Right.
But the downside of fucking around is you fuck up. You fuck up hard. So it's funny like how like my process really, it's like I choose to make myself vulnerable. And I drove home feeling like, man, I wish I did so much differently. And then I'm like, what a rush.
Right.
Like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
Like the abuse.
Yeah.
It's got to feel like the equivalent of like a guy who likes to surf Mavericks or something. You know, he's like, fuck, dude, I broke my leg today. I can't wait to get back and see if I can pull this off.
Yeah, I don't know if I feel that.
Like the open mic rush.
Yeah.
It's like, for me, it's the pressure of having to come up with something funny makes me write better jokes than sitting in a room will ever, like sitting at a cafe with like a notebook will ever, like I'll write for a while, but
I feel like I'm pretty good at knowing what's going to work.
Yeah.
So I will get excited about a new joke when I write it. I'll be like, this is going to work.
Yeah.
But then part of me doesn't know if that's just like I've gotten so good at selling a joke, you know? Mm-hmm. Not to sound, I mean, maybe that's arrogant, but like sometimes I feel you're like, yes,
it is arrogant.
But I do feel like I can force a crowd to laugh.
Yeah.
At most things.
Yeah, I think you're good at that. No, that's a safe assumption.
Yeah. Just with inflection.
Yeah, I mean,
yelling.
you're reputable. Like, I think you're seen as a reliable. It's hard to have funny, reliable comics. Like, now that I'm like putting together shows in LA, dude, it's a short list and it's mostly you. And other people, like, no one has ever been like, no. You know, when I mention you, everyone's just like, oh, yeah, that's great.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because, so I haven't really been doing many shows down in San Diego, but I'm like probably going to move back to LA in a couple months. So I'm like, I should do some shows down here, you know, just for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And then, so like I hit some dude up that runs a good show. I don't know him. And he's like, yeah, that's totally, you just need someone to vouch for you.
Because you're
like,
the comedy seller.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. But it's like, is that where, like, because we're almost, I don't know where you're at. I'm almost 10 years in now, 9 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, I got to ask, so I got to hit a friend up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And use a favor. That's a favor.
Yeah. It's not, though. It's not. I mean, it's a favor, but it's not, like, I do that for people in the Bay Area.
Totally.
And maybe it's just the way I work. I'm not like,
I don't like asking.
Someday I will come to you.
You like asking, though? I don't ever think I should be in a situation where it's like, I got to ask a guy to talk to a guy for me. That's like,
I think you got to humble yourself, man. LA's a different beast.
But it's not LA. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you said here.
This is a show in San Diego.
Oh, in San Diego. Yeah, that's dumb.
I'm like,
that's fucking dumb.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Who is lining up around the corner to do your fucking show?
So, but I am kind of looking forward to it. So I did it. I had a guy hit him up, booked on the show.
And now you're forever in debt to this guy.
No, it's not that. It's just that, like,
he's like, hey man, I'm moving.
So bring whatever boxes you have over and some pizza.
See you at 8 a.m.
It's a weird dynamic. That's a weird thing.
I mean, I've had comics who have done like Conan and late night be like, hey man, could you put in the word for me? And I'm like, sure. Like, I mean, like, this shouldn't have to happen, but yeah. And I'm not like, all right. It's a favor if you kind of suck to me.
Totally.
You know, but if you're good, if you're a comic that I'm like, dude, I tell people about you, then I'm like, yeah, let's fucking get more you in the world. Let's share your light.
Yeah. Well, I was relieved because the guy I asked was like, I wasn't sure how he'd take it.
Right.
Just because, like, not that I knew he knows I'm funny enough.
Right.
He doesn't seem like the kind of guy. We're not that close. We're close.
Yeah.
And he goes, and he messaged me back. It's like, yeah, you're like one of the few people I'll vouch for.
Right. That's nice. Yeah.
And I was like, thank God. Because I could see him being like, no,
I don't
that's
really
weird.
know you.
I don't
Yeah.
want to fucking, yeah.
Yeah, it is weird. Yeah.
I don't know why I brought that up. How do we get there?
There's a weird rule in comedy. I don't know, like, if our fans... I don't know if it's relatable in other parts of life, but there's this, like, unwritten rule in comedy where if you're going to a new city, you kind of message comics that you know to be like, hey, like, what are good shows?
Right.
You know? So, because you want to do the good ones. It's like you want to get on all the cool lineups. And they'll tell you the shows, but they have to tell you whether or not you can use their name.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, you know, if I ask Torio, like, hey, what are good shows in San Diego? And Torio tells me in a hypothetical sense, like, this show, and this show are good, person I kind of know.
Right.
If I go, hey, Torio told me to hit you up, that's a no-no. You crossed a line. Because you didn't tell me
Yeah.
that I could,
Yeah.
you know, you got to say, use my name. Let them know I sent you. And that's like an extra compliment. It's like a vote of confidence. Like, I'm happy to.
Right. I'll even go further. I'll be like, if they don't get back to you, let me know. I'll talk to them.
Oh, cool.
If it's someone I really like.
Yeah.
There's other levels of it too, because if someone says, like, in San Francisco, I'm coming to San Francisco, there's 2 different lists of bookers I'll send them to.
Yeah, you might have even said this on the pod before.
Right. But then also,
you don't always give out the best shows.
No, not
depending on the person.
No, because I know that they're going to drop my name, even though I didn't give them permission to.
See, I wish I had your awareness.
But it's like it's not malicious. It's also like, this is where you're at in comedy.
Yeah.
This is the shows you should be doing, in my opinion.
Right. It feels like a cool kids table thing.
Yeah.
But it's really not. It's like, dude, I can also not get invited back to this show.
Right. Yeah.
You know? Like, I can do something weird, like put on a comic that's fucking batshit crazy that I don't know. That happened to me. A comic hit. I kindly told, I don't know this person. We have a mutual friend. And I was like, oh, yeah, hit up. These are great shows. I just came back. Those were fun shows. And the shows hit me up. We're like, you know this guy? He says, like, he wants that you wanted him to do these shows. And I'm like, whoa, not only do I not know this guy, I don't necessarily want him to do this.
I've even gone as far to a little bit lie and be like, hit up this person. Don't tell him my name. Don't tell him you won't want to drop my name. And then I'll just, and I'll be like, because we don't really get along. But that's not the reason. It's because I don't want them to drop my name.
Yeah.
Or I'll be like, it might actually hurt you if you say my name.
That's a good one. Yeah. I mean, I had someone take that personally one time. I was like, hit up these places. I don't know them that well. You know, I don't know if I could, like, I think they said, like, don't worry, I won't use your name. And I was like, I mean, it's not like I don't like you. I'm new to LA. Like, I don't have pull. You know, I had just moved down, and it was like a New York comic asking me what are good shows.
I don't think it's bad to say, don't worry, I won't use your name.
Okay.
It'd be nice to hear that, honestly.
Right,
be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's like a weird insight. I feel like people who don't do stand up.
Well, I think I think there's
wouldn't know.
I think there's other careers like this, but your reputation's huge in comedy.
Yeah.
Not on and off stage.
Off stage, maybe more so.
I mean, it depends.
Funny is valuable.
There's like an upper echelon of, like, if you're undeniable, then you're undeniable.
You can be a shit.
If you're like us,
if you're Bill Cosby, you can be Bill Cosby.
Yeah. But it's
That's
like
terrible. He's free.
That is insane.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail this.
No, it's why you did. You don't just drop Cosby.
Yeah,
now we have to talk.
I forgot that he's.
Now it's the Cosby episode.
No, but your reputation definitely can, like, make your life a lot harder if it's not good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you have to be upper 20% as off stage and on stage to really make it.
Yeah. And it's that off stage upper 20 is a tough nut to crack for me.
Well, it's also, I think everyone does it differently too.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like some people are grinders and it's constantly messaging. And for me, it's like, I'm not like that. Yeah. But I think but I still have my strategy. Yeah. You know, it's I want to be cool. I want to be like a comics comic.
Yeah.
make it seem like I don't care maybe as much as I do.
And honestly, I think a lot of like bigger name acts prefer that to someone that's like, all right, I'm gonna win you with this one fucking hang.
Yeah, but but bigger name acts, you realize like they don't open as many doors as you thought.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean? Like getting someone to let you feature for them is great, especially your first when you're 4 or 5 years into comedy, when you're just kind of getting into clubs.
It's
for the
what
first
we
time.
all want. Yeah.
And then you realize that like, okay, that
back to your studio apartment.
Yep,
I got to go do TV and movies.
Thank you for that was
fun. We're friends.
I'm glad. Yeah, we're totally friends.
Yeah, but I got to go be famous.
I'll
now.
text you once a year about whatever game we watched together, or whatever. And it's cool to have those names in your phone. You feel cool.
Yeah,
but the people that constantly message people, they it's a risk. They have their advantages.
It's a risk and reward.
It's a risk and reward. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think I would ever. You can over ask.
Oh, of course you can.
You can over ask and then you blew it. It's kind of like, I haven't done it in a while, but like dating.
Well, that goes back. We'll go to the dating thing in a second, but that goes back to what I said about the favor to do a show.
Yeah, right.
Where it's like, it's totally cool for him to be like,
yeah.
And it's not like he's a comic that's way above me in stature either. We're pretty close,
right?
But which almost makes it kind of worse.
Yeah,
it's like it'd be me, But yeah, you have to. Yeah, you only have so many asks, so many favors.
Yeah, you know what's funny is
go to the dating thing though. What were you saying? Like dating?
Oh no, it's just like that. Like it's a kind of like a dance. It's a game of like, if a misstep, it may not be the end of the world, but it's definitely the end of that relationship. You can't go back to that well again. Maybe you guys will reunite later in life and be cool, but it's kind of like, damn, dude, this has gone sour.
No doubt.
I was going to say, I was thinking about this the other day, and not just with comedy, but with life. Life is constantly, to me, like, there is a group up in front of me that I want to be in. Right. And you can't. Like, I'm not in. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, fuck them. Fuck that group.
Right.
Like, that's fucked up. I would never do that. Meanwhile, behind me, someone wants to be in my group, and I'm like, nah, dude, it's nothing personal. That is life constantly on repeat. Whether it's comedy, whether it's circles of friends, like being a kid in school,
Totally.
But you always take it personally when it's you on the out. Festivals trying to get in.
Oh yeah.
And then when you're running something and someone's out, you're like, oh dude, I haven't even like thought about it. I should let you. It's not even a conscious decision.
Right.
Although sometimes it's like, I don't want to hang out with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all that stuff.
But I want whatever people got, and I see people that have it where they genuinely, in their core, do not give a fuck. Like, not pretending to not give a fuck. They genuinely don't care that table's over there.
That's funny because I don't feel that way. I wish I
cared more.
I wish I cared more. Because I feel like I'm kind of framing it in a way of like relationships right now, especially with what I'm going through with like rejections in that case, where it's like,
you don't give a fuck.
I do. I wish I cared more though about
like, you want your heart to hurt when you get rejected.
No, I guess
I think you care a healthy amount.
Yeah, I think I do
care. You don't seem like someone that overly doesn't give a fuck.
No, that's what I'm saying is I do want to care. I don't know what I'm saying.
Like, I think of like Irene too.
Okay.
I feel like she doesn't care. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like she's not bothered at all. I'll have moments where I'm channeling my inner Irene.
Right.
And I'm like, they could be over there. I'm hanging out here with you. Mm-hmm. But it's fleeting.
Yeah.
And I want to always be in that. And I feel like she's one of the people that comes to mind. Steve Fury too. I think that, Fury might be a little more of like a armor that he's built, like an emotional kind of armor.
There's always that like you want to prove them wrong. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Irene has that.
Yeah.
because she's just. But Irene's also like, and I love Irene. We both do. She's also like and she works hard.
Yeah.
But things have gone really well for her.
Yeah.
So I think if things went really well for us, we could do that. People just need to start giving us everything.
We could not give a fuck. I don't know, dude. I could see myself like at my peak, Hollywood just turning their back on me, and I'm like, man, I give a fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like opportunity is like my fucking mojo. Like a chance to do like that is like my fucking joie de vivre. Joie de vivre? Mm-hmm. Do you pronounce the R-E at the end of joie?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Joy of life.
Ah.
Joy of living.
Your joy of living is
like
proving
opportunity
yourself.
And proving myself.
Yeah.
And like attaining that.
I mean, that was because I try to channel like what did I love about comedy when it started, and it was certainly proving myself.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is when you first start. Because you're nothing.
You're nothing. You walk in and no one gives a fuck.
Every single set you have to like, and I remember like Jules being like told me I had a good set, and he's like, it took me a while to like get to like differentiate you from every other white open micer, like because when you first start, it's like, yeah, you're just a bunch of dudes,
right?
Like that's what it is at open mics.
Yes,
it's a bunch of white dudes.
Yeah, totally.
Because
with bad ideas. Like so many people go up with like the energy, like, all right, this guy's a comic, and then he's just like, but anyway, and you're like, dude, you don't have a single thought.
So yeah, you have you just have a lot of getting yourself to stand out. Mm-hmm. That's your whole first 2-3 years.
And you have to earn it. There is no like, there is no like, oh well, they're always here. Like you got to get up there and take it on the chin and bounce back. And
right.
Like, but man, when you fucking prove it up there.
Yeah. But you have to do it a bunch too.
You got to do it a bunch. Yeah. That was my biggest lesson in comedy. Was like, I thought you go and prove yourself like a couple times, and then you're packing out arenas, or like someone's like, hey, do you want a lot of money and opportunities? And then it's just like, yeah, man, you were great. See you around. And you're like, wait, where do I go? Do I wait for my car to pick me up?
You go home. And then you go to your job in the morning.
Where they treat you like shit.
All right. Enough comedy. Okay. It's that time.
Ended with a banger. Yeah, we got to stop joking around, dude.
We got to get serious.
We need to make a banger.
I
love that. Was it Emily's cousin that's a new patron?
Uh-huh.
His request to end it on a banger was with a prayer. Just a banger of a prayer.
I love that Emily's cousin became a patron and then she quit that week.
Yeah.
Bye.
The banger prayer would just be like, we pray she comes back, and she just like fucking lands on this table. Not gracefully either, like dropped from heaven hard.
Like concussed. We have to like sit her down, get her an ice pack. Are you okay?
Oh, you know what I want to do is I want to do more movie riffing reviews, because I was just watching something where, Highlander. I watched the new Rick and Morty, and they mentioned Highlander. And they go, you haven't seen Highlander? They go, Sean Connery plays a Spaniard. Doesn't even attempt to learn an accent other than his own.
Same with
Run for Red October.
It's brilliant.
I think all the movies we watch now for Patreon
movie
riffing should be accent centered.
You know?
Because like we had Nicolas Cage doing like the Southern thing.
That was amazing.
That movie was incredible.
And I'm still open to like Hesbo's picking. If you got a shitty movie
that you want to see reviewed,
but it's got to be on one of the platforms. I'm not paying $5 for this. The reason it has to be on a platform is so other people can watch it without paying. It's not just us.
Right. That's a better excuse than,
yeah.
Hey, patrons, I'm not paying $5 for a fucking movie.
So if we can keep it, find one on Netflix or HBO or...
Basically, stay away from Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus.
Whatever Peacock is.
Vudu, Crackle. Crackle might be free, but I still don't want to touch it.
I don't want to download it. You know, I went to the I'm changing subjects. I went to the zoo recently.
Ooh.
The world famous San Diego Zoo.
Again.
No, this is...
Oh, that time you
It
went.
was like 3 weeks ago.
Okay. With your niece.
With my niece. Maybe 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But then someone else said they went to like the Fresno Zoo. And I was thinking like, how do they pick
Where?
where do you go? Do you get like, so like you have, everyone starts off as a baby, right? The pets that they like send to different zoos.
Oh, yeah.
And do they like rate it? Be like, this tiger's, it's not that good of a tiger.
Right.
Send it to Modesto's Zoo.
Right.
Or like, this tiger's really tight. Send it to the New York Zoo or the San Diego Zoo.
It's like, yeah, this tiger is nothing special. You're going to Fresno. You're going to the Central Valley.
Right.
No, that's a good question. I feel like you'd want one that stands out. Like San Francisco Academy of Sciences has an albino alligator.
That's pretty sweet.
And that's like, it's like the main attraction. It's in the center of the place. There's 2 stories that you can see it.
So do you think it's like someone's job is like, I'm the zoo's buyer? Like I got to go out and find the best.
It's got to be unique. Like the
Like
San
they all
Francisco
have, like I have
Zoo.
a budget, so it's like I spent a lot of money on that alligator.
Right.
So the hippo we're getting is going to be retarded.
Yeah, the hippo's going to be just very slim. It's like not fat. It cannot
Dude,
put. I think it's a
would fuck
thyroid
like
issue.
a shredded hippo just with abs.
I feel like the buyer for the San Francisco Zoo has to be so like cutting edge
Right.
that it's like, okay, I see this tiger has 2 different colored eyes. That's very cool. Is it a sapiosexual? Will it fuck anything with a beautiful tiger mind?
I could see them getting a bargain because it's like this tiger won't stop fucking penguins. We're like, that's okay. We like that here.
Right. Well, if we have to be the only place that approves of
Yes.
that lifestyle.
Unless the penguins consent, of course.
Right.
Like, no.
They absolutely do not.
Well, we'll reframe that.
Yeah, you're like, all right, but off the record here, the penguins can't talk. Right?
Yeah, so that was a dumb thought of mine. But
Yeah, no,
the
Zoo Scouts.
The Zoo Scouts.
Yeah.
Could be a funny show.
Right.
Where it's just like,
I bet the parties must be wild. Zoo fests. That's like where you showcase like what you're doing. Just the sex they must have at Zoo Fest.
all right, now we'll end it on a banger.
Okay, now that we got that stupid fucking non-banger out of the way.
Da, 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 da. I can't wait to jump in the pool, dude. It's hot.
Yeah, we're gonna go hang in the pool. I hung out with my neighbors.
How'd it go?
It was great.
You got friends?
I got fucking wasted on 4th of July out here with them.
Nice.
They were super fun. And then one of their like cousins or something, they had like family in town, brought like industrial strength fireworks. And we walked up and down Hollywood lighting them off. And I was just watching, but then they're like, all right, someone else has to like light one of these. It's not just going to be like us, like the one person who brought them. So they were like, Zack. Everyone said Zack. I was like, all right. And I lit off.
I love that. I love that you're just your name alone. You're like, Zach's gotta want to light some fireworks.
Like, of course, my name is the first to come up. So I lit off what turned out to be the largest pack of. It was a show, like right on Hollywood.
Were you okay?
On Sunset.
You got all your fingers.
People got mad. No, it was safe. I had like the barbecue long lighter.
Who got mad?
Neighbors, because it was like a bomb went off outside their window. And one guy was like, guys, like he was actually cool about being mad, which is, I think, the level of mad I would be, where it's like, guys, one more and that's it. Like, please. And, we just kind of kept moving blocks at a time. But someone was on the phone, like calling police. And the most beautiful, like American thing I saw is everyone that complained was like standing outside of an apartment building where they're like, I'm calling the cops. And their upstairs neighbors like, woo! Light off another one! It was like Mexican, like this like Mexican family was just like, Mas fireworks! Like just shouting and like whistling. Like, that is America. We're making some of y'all's night.
Yeah. It is like, I don't even like fireworks, but it's like complaining about fireworks, especially on July 4th. It's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I thought I was going to get arrested, but that's what I love about LA, man.
Arrested for what?
Fireworks? I don't know. Is it legal here?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
I
don't
just feel
think
like the cool thing about
they're
LA,
not going to arrest people.
LA
Maybe a ticket.
LA, they're just busy. Like cops.
Same as San Francisco. I love that.
San Francisco's a little finicky.
I never got hassled by a cop in San Francisco.
No, you're
ever.
not up late
Well,
and out drinking. Like, they're like, put that brick down. I'm like, shut up.
put it down in your head.
Is that against the law?
It is?
It is? Threatening you? All right, well, then I take it back.
Pig.
Oink, dude. I'm sorry about this. I live right here. I'm home.